what makes a good photograph? It's a good question, but it's not an easy one to answer. Like any creative art form, photography is subjective. There's not necessarily right or wrong ways of doing things. I think there are actually 5 elements that make up most good photos. And it's challenging to put them all into a single image. In this video, I'll give you an overview of these 5 things that I consider that go into good photos. And if you'd like to learn more about them, I've got an article on my website and a step-by-step guide on my Buy Me a Coffee page, so you can check these out. I'll leave links in the description below this video. But first, let's clear up a couple of misconceptions that are common about good photography. Many people tend to think that the better their camera is, the better photos it'll take, but this is not necessarily so. And another thing is, often people consider a good subject will make a good photo, but also this is not something that's guaranteed. Many years ago I was photographing an assignment of a large super yacht that was being launched, and the owner and I had discussed what he wanted. He said he wouldn't be taking photos that day. He was a keen amateur, but he was giving his camera to a friend. Later he told me that his camera, a Leica, very nice, highly renowned camera, was practically useless in the hands of his friend. He said all of the photographs were out of focus because his friend had thought the camera would do that for him. It was a great camera, it was a really interesting subject. I got plenty of good photos because I knew what I was doing. The guy with the Leica unfortunately didn't know how to use it, so the quality of the camera didn't help at all. And I often tell people in our workshops and people that I mentor that a good subject doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make a good photograph. A good photographer makes a good photograph. So in answering the question, what makes a good photo, I don't want to focus on cameras or subjects, but give you a broader idea of things to think about that you can include in any photo you take, whatever the camera and whatever the subject. The first of these things is light and the exposure of the light. So how you set your camera to manage how it captures the light that we see. Photography means writing with light or drawing with light. And it really is the essence of photography, how you control your camera to capture a good exposure, whatever you're photographing. So it doesn't matter what you're taking pictures of, you've got to be in control of your exposure, and the more creative, the more in tune with that aspect of photography you are, the better picture you'll make every time. A lot of people who join my workshops have their cameras set on an auto mode. This means that the camera's in control of the exposure. There's no real creativity involved, there's no real decision making about how to manage the light. Managing the light, managing a good exposure is really key to good photography. Composition is another key element of a good photograph. How you fit your subject into the boundaries of your camera frame will make the world of difference. The better you can fill your frame, the stronger photograph you'll make. The type of lens you choose, how much you show, are you using a wide lens or a tele lens? Are you going to come in close to your subject or get further back? Can you find an interesting angle to photograph it from? If you get down low or if you come to maybe one side or another. All of these aspects help to make a good composition. Then there's all the rules. The rule of thirds, using strong lines and diagonals, and all of these things can help to make a good composition. And certainly a good composition is one of the key elements of every good photo. Timing is another key element of a good photo. That moment that you choose to press the shutter button makes all the difference. No matter what your subject, whether you're photographing a sunset or a seagull, the timing is vital. That decisive moment of when you choose to take the photo makes a world of difference between a good photo and a mediocre one. So being aware of this, being observant and being patient to predict when the action's going to be at its peak will help you make better photographs. Colour and tone are another key aspect of good photography. In black and white photography, you're only dealing with the tone range, your range of contrast between the brightest and the darkest areas, and how these parts of a composition interact all come together to make a good photograph. It's easy to take colour for granted, we see it all the time, but the better we can manage it, the better we can utilise it to help enhance our photos and create the mood and the atmosphere that we want, the stronger our pictures will be, the better our photographs will be. And so the last key element that I want to talk about today is the relationship, the connection that you have with your subject. Whether you're photographing a person or an inanimate object or a dog or anything you like, how you connect with your subject will help tell the story better. It will help give the photo more impact. The personal connection between the photographer and what they're photographing makes a world of difference. So the more passionate you are about your subject and how you can express this in your photographs, the better your photos will be. And being passionate about your subject is only going to be really helpful if you're managing your camera well. If you're comfortable and confident using your camera, then you're going to be able to concentrate more on your subject and not so much on the technical details. And this will help you connect and help you make better photographs. And it's really vital to learn how to do this. To pick up a camera is easy. To take a photo, to take a snapshot is easy. But to make a really good photograph, you need to practice, you need to study. This is why I love teaching photography. So please check out the resources that are available on my website. There's lots of articles, there's a variety of courses available, and there's lots of good detail in there that will help you learn to be a better photographer and learn how to take good photographs consistently. I'll leave links to my website and to other resources that I've got available, so if you want to check these out, they'll help you learn to take better photographs. Thanks for watching.